Hello and welcome. This is the first D1 paper, okay, probably the last before the 2016 exam, okay, that I can put up. Right, okay, so we've got, obviously this is June 2013, question 1. Okay, so we've got a couple of different people and different tasks that they've got to be assigned to, okay. Figure 1 shows what could happen. In other words, what could go with what. That's the easy way of putting it, okay. And this is what they suggest or label as an initial matching. Sometimes they give a context to it to make it seem interesting and worthwhile, but they've obviously realised this year and gone out it's completely pointless. You could just simply look at it and go, we should go with her, he'd go with her, etc. You know, it's a standard kind of thing they would show you. Okay, so if you can't quite make out what this is saying, obviously you can look online, but for those people that can't be bothered to do that, I'll just read out what could go with what, okay? So A can only go with 1, B can go with 3 and 4, D can go with 2 and 6, E can only go with 1, okay? Just like A can. Maybe that would help us out later on in the question, but it's key to just point, because in these questions there will commonly be, why can't you find a complete matching? And there is in this case as well, so just be aware of picking out something that may stop it being a complete matching, okay? Anyway, so E can only be with 1, and F can either be with 1 or 5, okay? So, it's proposed that D is with 2, B is with 4, E is with 1, and F is with 5, okay? Now, it's asked you to find an initial matching, okay? Now, what you do, okay, to start the matching, you pick a node which is not connected on the left hand side, okay, and you connect it with one of the nodes that's already connected, okay, so you can build up a pattern. You start rearranging them, okay, because if we just put A with 6, if it could go with 6, then we'd not change anything and we'd have to do it again, okay. So what you always do is pick a node on the left that hasn't yet been paired with a node on the right that has, okay. So, we could pick A, however, the only thing you could connect A with, according to this, is 1, okay? And that's already connected with E. And then you would go, ah yes, but we can connect E with something else. No, we can't, okay? Maybe you didn't say that, maybe I just invented you saying that. Okay, so that's why we don't start with A. Now, might be why it might ask us a question, something stupid now. Okay, so quite clearly the only other one we're going to start with is C, okay? Now C can only go with 5, but what was connected with 5 was F, okay? And that can go with 2, okay? But we'll start pairing it up now. Okay, so we're going to start with C. So, you kind of have 2 lines to write this, okay? And hopefully you know why, okay? Because you've done your revision for this, okay? So C now goes with 5. So C, you do a single dash to 5, okay? And you say, well, 5 is already connected with, okay? And to wording that in a symbol form, you put equals. That was already connected with F can either be connected, according to this, with 5 or 2. Well, practically, we're not going to keep it connected with a 5 because we're changing C to be connected with a 5. So F needs to be connected with something else other than 5. Okay, the only other thing it can be connected with is 2. So you say F is therefore connected with 2. And again, you look at this diagram. Okay, don't put the equal sign yet, sorry, I told myself. Look at the diagram. Has 2 already got a pair on this initial matching? Well, yes, it has. It was already connected with D. Okay, so you put equals D. This pen is shockingly bad. Okay, so you say it was already connected with D. Okay, so now we need to connect D with something else. So we look at what D could be connected with. And D could be connected with 6. Okay, so you put a little dash to 6. And there's nothing connected with 6, okay? By the way, D could only be connected with 2 or 6, so we had to pick 6, as we couldn't have picked 2, okay? So therefore, that's your first line, and then you need to change it and say C is now with 5, F is now with 2, and D is now with 6. Okay? So, that's not quite the answer, okay? Because you need to list what's connected with what now. And what I would do for that, okay, I think it's giving you a diagram on the next page, okay? Was it? No, jumped in myself. I'm not choosing the wrong one, have I? Yep. Yeah. Okay, so then you would state what's connected with what, okay? So it might be worthwhile drawing another little quick one of these next to, if you're not using the one on the next page, okay? So we know C must be, we're starting with this matching, okay? Replacing anything that we've changed, okay? So we know C is with 5, okay? So I'll just, as I say, there's another one of these on the next page, okay? So, got 6 little, sorry. A, B, C, sorry, quick sketch of this, sorry about this, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, so now we know, we're drawing what we know we've just connected, so C is now connected with 5, okay, F is now connected with 2, okay, and D is now connected with 6. And then you change, and then anything that's not been connected, and that was connected before we haven't changed, you write on this little bar-type graph, okay? So A was not connected with anything before, so we don't rearrange that with anything. B was connected with 4 before, okay, and it's not been connected up yet. So you draw the line to 4. The rest have been connected apart from E, and E was already connected with 1, so you draw a line up from E to point 1. Okay, so you get something like that. So therefore you would state, in your improved matching, you would state what everything is paired with. You've already stated C is with 5, F is with 2, D is with 6, okay? So what I would do is go through each of these now. So you say A is unmatched, it's not paired with anything, okay? B is with 4, okay? C is now with 5, D is now with 6, E is now, was the same, it's still with 1, okay, and F is now with 2. Okay, so that's where we are so far. Okay, so that's your answer for part A. Right? Okay, so now for part B it says, why can't you find a complete matching? Now hopefully you kind of spotted that when I was going through this. Quite commonly in these type of questions, when you can't find a complete matching, it'll be due generally to 2 types of reason, okay? Either the first point is we have 2 points on the left hand side, okay, so I'm talking about that either A, B, C, D, E or F, okay, and there is 2 of them that can only be paired with one of the nodes on the right hand side, either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? So that's one of the reasons. The other reason, okay, it doesn't work in this case, but sometimes it is used, okay, is the fact that we've got 3 unmatched nodes on the left hand side and 2 on the right, okay? So just be aware, I mean, you generally pick them up as you're working through, but as I say, quite a common one, and one I would recommend looking out for, okay, is seeing, do we have 2 nodes on the left hand side that are paired with 1 node only on the right hand side, okay, just as like we've got here. But you can't just say that. You need to explicitly say, well, what's the problem? Okay? So you say A and E can only be paired with 1. So A and E can only be paired with task 1. Skip ahead himself. Only be paired with task 1. Okay, so that's your answer for part B. And then it gives us another little bit of a paragraph, okay? So it says, after training, task 4 is added to F's possible allocation. And task E is, task 6 is added to E's possible allocation. Now, what I would do, it doesn't say anything about not drawing on this diagram, because obviously you don't get marks, this is figure 1, okay? Or, it's up to you if you draw another version of this. Basically, what I would do, you draw another one of these, or you could draw on it, obviously. There's nothing stopping you doing that. And then just matching up what it's saying, okay? So you can refer back to it. So it's just said that F can now be also paired with task 4. So you draw a line from F to 4. Now, as I say, this is simply just a bit of extra working. You don't get any marks for this, and I wouldn't write it as an extra thing. It's just so you can familiarise yourself now, without confusing yourself, that the F can only go with 1 or 5. It can now go with 4 as well. Okay. It's also told us E can do task 6. So you draw a line from E to 6. Now, as I say, this is not part of the working out. This is simply just to help you understand the question and make sure you don't have to confuse yourself with, well, what can I add on to this? And you keep remembering that task E can go with 6. Okay, I would just draw that. As I say, it's just a bit of extra working. Okay, now this is where drawing this graph would really help you. It says, starting from the initial improved matching found in part A, okay, so this bit, maximise, basically what it's saying there is finish this off, okay, not kill it, although you probably want to. Unfortunately you can't do that, it's not alive to kill, although you could kill the examiner, but then I think probably some legal boundaries there that you're probably stopping you doing that, or, you know, if you're in a rage, then go for it, you know, it's a good life to live. Anyway, okay, so as I always mention, you start on the left hand side, pairing with a node that is currently matched on the right hand side. Now, we've not added any more possible allocations to person A, okay, they can still only do task 1, okay, so therefore you must pair A with task 1, okay, so therefore A must go with 1, and I put that as a little dash between the two, okay, but you say 1 was already paired with E, so to write that in mathematical form you write an equal sign, because it was paired with, it was equal to, okay, so it was equal to E. However, E, because we're told that E can now do task 6, it's likely we're going to have to rearrange it to task 6 next. But as I say, it's totally up to you, whichever way you go about it. Okay, so we look at task E. Now remember, we're going from this one we've drawn here, not this one. Okay, so don't get confused. So E, we had it originally paired with 1, which is what we said here. Okay, we haven't changed E, but we need to change E with something else. Okay, so we look at what E can be paired with. Now, as I say, we added the fact that E could do 6, so E can either do 1 or 6. Now, 1 is already taken up by A. Okay, the allocation, we've allocated A with 1. E can only now, its only other option is to go with 6, so it must go with 6. Okay, but 6 in this case was paired with D. Okay, so we look what D can now be paired with. Okay, D, so to understand what D can be paired with, what we want D to be paired with, we have to look at what it can be paired with. Okay, so D can be paired with, according to our original thing over here, okay, that I kind of modified a little bit, D can either be paired with 2 or 6, okay. Now, well, we can't pair it with 6 because that's what we've just changed E to. Okay, we've just paired E with 6. So therefore we need to pair D with something else other than 6. The only thing it can be paired with other than 6 is 2. So therefore D must be paired with 2. But if we look on this diagram, 2 is paired with F. Okay, so we need to give F a new node to be paired with on the right hand side. Okay, so we look at what F could possibly be paired with. Now it could either be paired with 1, that's not likely to be the case because we've just paired that with E, we'd be going back through the whole situation again, so it's not likely to be paired with 1. Okay, so therefore it can either be paired with 4 or 5. Okay, so look on here, is it 4 or 5? Doesn't really matter, okay. See what I've done. I'd pair it with 4, okay. As I say, you could have paired it with 5 and you would have got a slightly different allocation as a result, so don't be worried. Although I think you needed this precise allocation, I think there was an alteration on this one for part A, but for part C, your answer might be a bit different. So as I say, at this point, you could now either have paired F with 5 or with 4. It doesn't really matter. However, obviously that would affect your later answer. But as I say, it should work. Okay, so I paired with F with 4, but 4 on our new diagram that we've just done before was paired with B. Okay, so we have to give B a new partner. Okay, so we look at the original figure 1. Okay, what could B be paired with? B could either be paired with 3 or 4. Well, we've already paired. We've just paired F with 4, okay, so we can't pair B with 4, otherwise I'd have the same thing. Okay, so we need to pair B with its other option, which is 3, okay, which doesn't have a partner, okay, so therefore we stop after 3, okay, and then you just change this to say A is now with 1, E is now with 6, D is now with 2, F is now with 4, and B is now with 3. So it's crucial to write that line in, by the way. Okay, now what you want to do after this, just to make sure to the examiner that he knows what you're doing, you state what is matched with what, which is again why I would now, okay, draw your another version of the matching. Now it's not asked you to, but I just think it's helpful to know, because we know that A is with 1, E is with 6, D is with 2, F is with 4, B is with 3, but maybe it's just me, it's hard to picture how they've been rearranged and what's been left standing, okay? So what I would do is draw another little version of this matching, okay? So again, we've got 6, that means I'm going to have to shut up for a minute, and, well, it doesn't mean that, obviously, but probably be accepted with it, A, B, C, D. For those of you wondering, I can do the alphabet, I can do it a little bit, pretty good. Okay, so what I would first do, if you go down this method of trying to work out what is with what exactly, okay, well we know we've just paired A with 1, so therefore whatever happened before, A must go with 1, okay. E, well we've just changed that to 6, okay, so we must pair E with 6, even though I didn't really do a good job there. D is now paired with 2, so you draw a line from D to 2. F is now paired with 4, okay, so you draw a line from F to 4. B is paired with 3, okay, so you draw a line from B to 3. Even though, again, I can't do that very well. Okay, now, you look at this diagram, it's like we've got C to be paired with 5, but it's the only option we haven't yet paired something with. Okay, and as I say, you might have spotted that in this case, but anyway, C is with 5 on this diagram, so any that haven't yet been paired now, as I say, obviously C is going to be paired with 5, but you just make sure it is on this diagram as well, which is the matching you had before, and anything you've not rearranged, okay, given a new node to connect to, should be exactly the same on your diagram you had before. Don't use this diagram, okay, because quite clearly C is not paired with anything. Okay, so you pair C with 5 because we're told to in the previous one. Okay, so therefore, at the other side, I would just eventually state what everything is paired with. Now, as I say, we've already done it here, but we've not included C in that case. You say A is paired with 1, B is paired with 3, okay, C is paired with 5, D is paired with 2, E is paired with 6, and F is paired with 4. Okay, so that is your answer to part C. Okay, that's the end of question 1. That's quite a nice 10 marks there. Okay, oh, 10, good, what the hell am I talking about? Oh yeah, I really can't, I'm sorry about that. That's, I'm not even going to try 7 through whatever number it is, that's how many marks it's worth. Okay, so that's the end of question 1. Thanks for watching, hopefully you've been able to understand that, and as I say, the answers are online, although for D1 they're not actually too bad to look at, I don't think. Okay, so thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next video. Question, whatever you decide to watch, put yourself through.